31 years old, for you to have that much of an impact, for you to have that much of an influence, for your voice to be that powerful to where some people felt like they needed to silence you says a lot.
There's so much hatred out here. Like, a man just died. Not just a man, but a father. What did the father truly do? He just spoke his truth. For someone to be killed for that, it's a no-go. And for people to be celebrating his death, come on. To me, there's something wrong with you there. Alrighty, guys, welcome to another episode of MarVic Production. I know it's been a long time, a couple months since we've put out a video out here, but just want to let you guys know that we're back. You know, we're ready to get things going again. And how you doing, champ? You know, it's been a minute.
Doing good. Really happy to get back in the studio as well. And
there's a lot of things going on right now that kind of brought us back, that we felt that, you know, it's like our purpose to come here and talk to you guys and share our input. And, you know, we may not agree on certain things or disagree, but at the end of the day, we have the ability to express our freedom of speech and our different outputs and perspective on things. So whether you like it or not, it is what it is. But other than that, bro, last time I seen you, you looked a little skinnier. What's going on?
Oh, man, he gonna do me dirty like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, hey, that black ain't helping.
Just a little weight, so... I mean, you know, but I messed up my knee.
Yeah. Talk about that. What happened there?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm just. No, I play soccer, or I used to play soccer, and I'm officially retired.
Okay, good.
So I know that a lot of coaches were hitting my DMs like, "Hey, man, we've seen you play. You're really good. We need you on the squad." Sorry, guys, my retirement. I'm officially announcing it here on the platform, but. Nah, man, long story short, it was at a soccer game, and really it's just anticlimactic because, like, you'd think that, like, someone hit me or something, or, like, ran into somebody.
And it just happened.
I was by myself.
Oh, wow.
I was just by myself.
Those are the worst injuries, by the way. That's when you know it's bad.
Well, not to get too deep into it, but I ended up doing research afterwards, and I was just talking to somebody earlier about this, but I really do believe that playing on turf, like for soccer, maybe even football, I don't know, but there's a lot of evidence pointing to a lot of injuries happening on turf.
Yeah, and a lot of football players have actually talked about that, how they want to go to regular grass.
Is this turf?
That's all turf.
Oh, fuck. And that hurts, too, when, like, you fall.
Yeah.
I know they're all covered in shit.
Exactly.
So
like
yeah.
Cement.
So not to get too deep, but, like, it just causes more of an imbalance for the body, for the ligaments, the muscles. So anyways, I was just going for like a regular pass, and then next thing you know, my knee popped.
Ooh.
So it's been really hard for me, truthfully, just because I've never had an injury this bad, and I don't really know how to go about it except just to rest.
Yeah, rehabbing it.
And so I mean, I've had a lot of ankle injuries, a lot of, like, you know, different kinds of injuries, but never knee related. And I always, with time, I'm able to heal, and, you know, give me a month or two and I'm back, fully back.
But this one is taking a little longer for you?
It's been 3 months. I'm not 100%.
Damn.
And I'm scared. I haven't ran. Like, I don't run. I avoid running. I just you know, I'm doing walking right now, and, you know, just trying to still trying to cover my other bases, you know, with the diet. And I'm still active. I'm hitting the weight room, but it's not the same. Like, I don't have I got to be careful. I just can't.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, the good thing is he officially hired a personal trainer now, so he should get you right.
Shout out to Lonzo. I mean, Lonzo's actually both of our personal trainer, and he's been doing it, you know, how long?
I started again probably, like, maybe May, I want to say.
You look good. You look lean.
Yeah.
So this is my before. Don't judge, but the after will be coming very soon.
But there's a lot of things that just come into that, you know, getting into shape, bro. I feel like your mind just goes to a different level. Like, I've been telling people, I just feel awake now, where before I felt very sluggish, slow, tired, and now it's like my eyes are wide open. I'm wide awake. I'm thinking clearer. And that was just doing the workout. Now is doing the other part, which is the diet that I started transitioning to, because putting in all that work in the gym and that sacrifice and all that, and
just
if I'm not eating properly,
you throw it all away.
You throw it all away, exactly.
Yeah, no, I was pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, being me playing soccer, going from playing soccer, running, you know, hitting the gym, doing those HIIT classes, to not being able to do anything, bro. Really, it messed with me, because I was like, damn, I can't. I want to, but I physically can't.
Right.
I can't fucking bend my leg the full way. So like, I got really just kind of sad and discouraged, and part of me, you know, was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just enjoy it at the same time. Like, I'm gonna eat whatever I want. Yeah, I mean, I was like, you know, fuck it. Like, I can't really do anything, and that's an excuse. I mean, I still could have eaten less and eaten healthy, but part of me was like, nah, I feel like I'm never gonna be like this again, so let me just fucking go in, bro. I was fucking eating.
I think that's the tough part too, bro, where because once you stop eating and doing things that you weren't doing, and now you have the ability to do it, the mindset kind of becomes like, oh, I'm gonna get after it next month, and when I get after it, all this is gonna change, blah blah blah. So you kind of enjoy it while it's there. So
yeah. No, and thankfully, I feel like for me, I know that I'm strong, and I told Lonzo this, like, bro, I really just need somebody to, like, on that topic of food, like, I was eating right even before the knee injury, but there were still certain things that I wasn't fully connecting with my nutrition, you know, because I still carried some fat here, and I told Lonzo, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I want to get rid of this. I really want to get rid of this. Like, how do I get, you know, and I really do feel like Lonzo is the right guy for the job. So shout out to bro, because, you know, he's been there, you know. If you look at his, you know, social media, we've seen it, like, he's competed. He looks great. He's got the knowledge for it. So I'm really excited to get this going, and I'm happy to, you know, be able to move more. But my knee feels a lot better with that being said. But I am retired, so I do apologize to all the club teams that wanted to hire me.
LAFC, sorry guys.
Barcelona, I said I would, but I don't think I can anymore.
Yeah, but another announcement that we got, man, our sound engineer, Bryce, he's officially married. Congratulations.
Shout out to Breezy. You guys can't see him, or maybe he could do a little.
Nah, he's good. he's the guy behind the cam, you know. No face, no case type shit. But congratulations on
bro.
That, Bryce. I mean, last time we were on here, you were not married. So, you know, how quickly life can change.
Are you a dad yet?
Maybe next year. You know, you never know.
He's a hell no.
But another announcement. I'm officially an uncle again. Both my sisters gave birth this year. I got my beautiful nephew, handsome gentleman who reminds me of a lot of me when I was young. And then I got my niece with my other sister, Rocio. So congratulations to her. It was a little scary pregnancy. It was a high-risk pregnancy, and just grateful that everything came out great. Baby's healthy. My sister's great as well. So just little announcements there. You know, it's been like, what, 6 months since we recorded?
Yeah. February. It's been 7 months.
7 months, guys. Yeah. So outside of that, let's get to it, man. I mean, we got some crazy shit. September kind of started with a bang here. A lot of crazy things going out there. And like I said, Marlon and I kind of just wanted to come on here and share our perspectives and our thoughts on these certain topics here. But the biggest one, you know, being with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I didn't know too much about him. I don't have TikTok. It kind of seems like he would post a lot of short reels. But apparently he's a believer in Christ. He's a Christian, and he would go to college campuses and kind of debate with the students there, which I don't think there was anything wrong with that. If anything, it helps the students, especially in a university, them being young, but it helps with their critical thinking and helping them think for themselves, right? And it was an open platform where it was, I guess you would call it prove me wrong type thing. This is my belief. Why is your belief better than my belief, I guess you can say, or why does your belief make sense to you? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a friendly debate. This guy, to me, based on what I seen, wasn't pushing out hate. If anything, he was pushing out positivity things, especially with the Christianity stuff, and just helping the young generation think for themselves. Some people may not agree with that. I feel like the media portrays him as something different, and the young generation kind of runs with that and builds this hate towards this guy. And unfortunately, it cost him his life, you know. And I know you followed him more. You know, what was some of the things that he kind of helped you in, or changed your perspective? Or
yeah, man. I'm less shook now, to be honest, but that day, and I mean, I texted you, you know, and I was like, bro, this person, Charlie Kirk, just got shot. And to me, I knew a lot about him. Like, I will spend, I think, recently, like maybe the last, I don't know, year or so, but I've been really like keeping up with politics. You know, I've been really like researching and studying and just listening to what people are saying. I think that I think it's just interesting now because I think as a young kid, and I'll get back to your question, but like as a young kid, I just didn't care. I didn't care. I find myself thinking about this quite a bit, but like I hated history, bro. I hated history. I thought it was boring. I thought it was like, who the fuck cares about history? Who the fuck cares about what this country did, what that country did? Like, we're here now. Let's live in the moment. Just some real ignorant, dumb thinking.
Yeah, of course.
But it's kind of like a young thinking for me, and I just didn't think it was that important. But, you know, I think just growing up and learning about how the world operates and learning about, you know, our country. And I think with the growing... I think a lot of it has to do with how the world is changing. You know, I think maybe back like 20 years ago, because the world looked more like how I wanted it to look, more of a Christian view, at least in America, I didn't really pay too much attention. But I think now, and this ties into, you know, with Charlie and stuff, like the world is changing. And specifically in America, like we're seeing a lot of, you know, the whole gender talk, the whole...
On that note, though, I do see what you mean about the road changing and the gender thing and all that, but with this assassination of Charlie Kirk, for me, I kind of when I first saw it and I Googled who he was, because my brother, you had texted me, but my brother Joe had texted me before with a video, and it was the video of him getting shot. I kind of ignored it because I'm like, oh, it's that YouTube guy who debates with kids. I'll check it out later. I didn't know that it was the video of him being assassinated until you hit me up. And I'm like, oh, shit, I think that's what my brother Joe sent me, and I checked it out. I was like, oh, shit. But it's funny that, you're talking about how it's changing. But for me, with this assassination, it kind of just brings me back to, like, Martin Luther King, you know, when him getting murdered. So I feel like as a country, we've backtracked it back to where we were at with the assassination of people getting murdered for speaking their truth type thing. So, it's kind of sad to see that. I feel like we're retracting back to that because it could all just be avoided, in my opinion.
Well, you know, if we get really deep about it, like you bringing up MLK and, you know, even like JFK and all these people that have been assassinated, like I think it's a pattern we've had throughout history. You know, it's a pattern like even...
where I feel like history is repeating itself, but now it's in a different generation.
It's really just been the classic tale of just good versus evil. It's been happening since the beginning of time. And, you know, I know that Charlie, like you said, you know, was a Christian, and it happened even with Jesus, you know, where he was misinterpreted and, you know, people didn't really believe, you know, what he said and whatever, and he was killed. But anyways, going back to Charlie, bro, like, you know, Charlie was only 31.
Yeah, young
a
guy.
little bit older than you, a little bit younger than me. And he accomplished so much. Like, one of the things that I didn't know about Charlie is how much of an impact he had for specifically, like, Trump. Like, Trump's team depended a lot on Turning Point USA, which was Charlie's company. And
his company.
Yeah. Microphone.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And, you know, it just says a lot. Like, 31 years old, for you to have that much of an impact, for you to have that much of an influence, for your voice to be that powerful to where some people felt like they needed to silence you, says a lot. And then so, yeah, it forces you to look at, well, what the fuck? Why him? Why did they kill him? He's not the only person saying what he was saying, but like, why him? Like, what really, you know, is happening there? But, it's horrible.
I think I just feel that people understood the influence he had for this younger generation and what he was doing. Again, bro, like, if you're able to think for yourself, things goes to a whole different level, right? Where people don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to be dependent to the government or what they're trying to sell you and all that bullshit. But I feel like that's what made him a target there. But don't know nothing about this kid, Tyler Robinson. Just what's come out, little reports of I think his dad came out today and spoke with the FBI and said that he had changed his perspective more towards the left thinking, and apparently he had a transgender boyfriend.
Call it what girl it is. Turning to a man or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that right there kind of just says a lot without saying a lot. But obviously, Charlie wasn't for that. You know?
No. Charlie. So Charlie was Christian. Charlie was Christian, and he believed a lot in Jesus and what the Bible taught, and he believed in two genders. He believed in a man and a woman. That's how a family is formed. That's how marriage should be. Didn't really. He didn't agree with man and man, being gay or transgender, and so that was a lot of what he would talk about on campuses. Is just how in his point of view he felt like these people needed help, and it's what's really,
at the end of the day, it just comes down to confusion, right? People are confused, they're lost, they're thinking whatever they're thinking. I can't even explain that shit, but what trips me out is that I feel like confusion brings anger, right? It brings hatred because you're not like them, and when you're not like them, they start feeling some type of way towards you because we don't think alike, right? Because you're telling them the truth. The truth is you were born a man. You're a man, right? Why are you liking different shit? Nothing wrong with it, but it's just comes down to confusion, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would agree with Charlie that I think that some people are confused. Some people, I mean, they need help. Like a lot of people. Specifically like on the left. I'm not saying everybody on the right is perfect. I'm sure we could use a lot of help too. But I think really what we saw is, Charlie represented debating. Charlie represented going around the country and, not just teaching kids or young men and women how to think, but he'd really, have a respectful, dialogue with as many people that allow themselves to have a respectful dialogue of just like you said earlier, like, well, hey, this is what I believe. Why do you believe that? And then he would use science. He'd use statistics, which is really sad to see because a lot of people call him a Nazi. A lot of people call him racist. A lot of people call him a fascist. And it's like, really, he was just pointing out like statistics. Really, he was just bringing out numbers. So it doesn't make him racist. He's just looking at data. It's like, why is the data pointing to this? Yet people will confuse and misinterpret and say, oh, no, like you're just racist. That's why you're saying that. So anyways, to go back to your point, it's heartbreaking, bro. And it was scary because it's not like debate is a new thing. Right. Debating has been going on forever. It's like, hey, but America really did, and I hope will still continue to represent, not just the freedom of speech, but this whole culture and belief that like, hey, we don't have to agree on everything. Right. We don't have to agree on everything, but can we at least agree on a few things and have that be enough to, bring us together, like the fact that we're fucking Americans and we live in the greatest country in the world. I'm not saying it's perfect, far from perfection, but there's a reason why so many people still want to come here. So things like that, common ground, I think it's just devastating to see that that's all he was doing. He wasn't a politician. Yeah. He wasn't a politician. I saw someone talk about how like, it's one thing to like Trump, right? They say a shot is here and shit, all that shit. Like, if you're a politician, especially like the president or someone high in power, in politics, and you have a lot of influence, and you have influence to like change laws and whatnot. Yeah. That's kind of expected. If we see movies, if we read stories, it's like we expect those people. If anybody's gonna get shot, it's gonna be these people. Charlie wasn't any of that. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't the president, although a lot of people said that he was definitely going to be the future president for sure. I mean, he...
maybe that's why they did what they did as well.
Maybe that's one of the reasons he was taken out. But he was just going to campuses and talking. There's so many videos of people that, lashed out at him and got mad at him or even tried to attack him. And he respectfully, like held his own and he really carried that demeanor and respect. And for him to be assassinated that way is insane. Like we're not going to show the video at all. I'm sure everybody has seen it, but that is such a gruesome, horrible way to go out in front of so many people, and especially I think it's symbolic even getting shot in the neck. Yeah. Like them going like after your voice. I feel like they really wanted to shut him up and
send a message.
And he would even say that like he would call it out that like the left they're going to get violent.
They always do.
They're going to get violent. They can't win the debates. They can't win the debates. They can't the science isn't pointing in their favor, that the data isn't pointing in their favor. So all they have left to do is literally to get violent. It's literally to either fight physically or, look at the protesting with like, Tesla and Elon, where they're burning his cars, and thankfully nobody was killed from that. But this time it cost someone's life, and it's just sad that
a bright future, a guy with a bright future's life, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he did so much, right? Like, I was reading more about him. He was an author. He started Turning Point USA. He started Turning Point Action, and a lot of Republicans will tell you that he was a major reason as to, again, why Trump won, because he was able to go to these campuses and talk to the young men and women and say, hey, this is why you should vote this way. And it's bigger than Trump, right? It's not that Trump is perfect. I don't agree with a lot of what he does either, but it's this whole idea of the Constitution protecting, your First Amendment, Second Amendment, which, we can talk about if you want, but the Second Amendment is what they're going after right now, that he was a big believer in people having guns, and people will, they'll mock him now and be like, oh, well, should I feel bad for the guy that believed in people having guns? It's like, no, I have no empathy and no sympathy. It's like, I get the point that they're making, but I also don't. It's like, that's not the point he was making, as far as
on that note right there is, I think what came after him being murdered, assassinated, was the hatred that people showed of him, mocking him, going on social media and, posting about a dead man and again, mocking him, right, making fun of him and stuff like that. And I think that just revealed a lot there. And for me, looking at it from the outside in, I'm just like, damn, like, there's so much hatred out here. Like, a man just died. Not just a man, but a father. You got two boys that are going to be raised without their father now, right? And what did the father truly do? He just spoke his truth, So for someone to be killed for that, it's a no-go. And for people to be celebrating his death, like TMZ came out, they got caught celebrating his death. They tried to say it was they were celebrating a car pursuit, some bullshit. Their asses got caught. During the shooting, when it happened, there was a gentleman there that was fucking cheering for that shit. Like, come on. To me, there's something wrong with you there. Like,
yeah, I mean, one thing I do want to say is, like, this happens every day. A lot of people will say that, like, oh, people die every day, and there's people that get killed for what they say, and that is true. I understand what they're saying, but this wasn't just anybody. Right. Like, I had a conversation with my buddies where he was like, bro, this shit happens every day. And it's like, yeah, it's true, but Charlie Kirk is not your average guy. Charlie Kirk is not your everyday kind of person, where, respectfully, Charlie Kirk being younger than me, he has done more for this country for so many people than I'll probably do in my lifetime, So it's not fair to, really compare him with anybody else. And just because it happens every day doesn't mean that we need to get cold in our hearts and get to a place of like, like, I don't care, it happens every day. Like, that's also not the right response, like, and look, this is maybe, I know that this is the Christian in me, just God's teaching in me, like, of just love, and I will be the first one to say, and I do want to talk about this too, is like, especially with like Christians and even if you're on the right and you're not Christian, like, I do want to talk about how to properly react to this. I'm not saying there's a perfect way to respond to this, but there are some things that I want to get into, just because I don't, for example, like, I think it's going to be very, very normal to want to take revenge. I think it's just going to be like,
well, so far, I feel like people haven't got into that, at least on I guess, I don't want to make it a left and right thing, but the people on the right haven't, at least what I've seen, haven't responded with violence. If anything, I've seen like peaceful protests. I did see that an area in Arizona, I guess Charlie was from Arizona. They did like a mural for him, or where you could go, like, candles and all that, and some kid I should say went and vandalized it.
Yeah, I saw that.
For what, but based on what I've seen though, is like, I feel like the right is reacting the right way in prayer, respecting Charlie. I believe they flew him in and like on some Air Force shit. And I just want to shout out his wife real quickly, for her to get on stage and speak. Her husband just was murdered a day prior to her speaking, and I think that just shows a lot of strength and faith as well. And shout out to her for speaking out, and also sharing that she's going to continue his mission. You know, that takes a tough woman to do that. And I think Charlie married the right woman. There was a reason why he married her.
She's a strong woman. I mean, shit, I could only imagine if, you know, something like that had happened to me 2 days later, to be in front of cameras and deliver a strong message. But yeah, clearly she wasn't your average woman. And,
fearless. You
know, there's a reason why, you know, like you said, Charlie chose her. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we don't have to go down the whole, like you said, left and right, but it's just very interesting to note. I will say this, that, you know, if you look at history, there's a pattern. There's a pattern with the left where they're the ones that get violent. Yeah. They're the ones that when they can't win, again, with words or, you know, data or whatever it looks like, it turns into violence. It gets ugly. And the right doesn't really do that. You know, like, again, it's one thing to have rhetoric. It's one thing to have freedom of speech, you know, but then to take action, like, when's the last time, you know, the right's really been doing something like that? Right. You know, like, and especially to the point of killing somebody, you know, that's really, because that's where we got to. It's not just, you know, a protest or a riot. It was the death of someone, you know, really important and, you know, really young. And like you said, husband, father, and, you know, it's just really been heartbreaking. But I think, you know, going back to what you said about what his wife said in the speech, like, we're starting to see it already. You know, like I sent you a video earlier where this is going beyond the U.S. If you look at England, if you look at Britain right now.
Right. What was it, like 1 million people came out to protest?
Millions of people came out, you know, in favor of Charlie. You know, people that, and I know that Charlie did go to Britain and he'd go to some universities over there, I think Oxford or something. I don't know. But I've seen some of his debates and it's just what he stood for. He was a man of integrity. He was a man of respect. He was a smart guy who really stood on what he believed. You know, like I've seen like Michael Knowles and even Ben Shapiro, who's a little controversial in my opinion, but they talk about him like when they met him as a young 18-year-old, where he would come in the room with so much energy and he was just alive, and he was a big dude. Yeah. Like Charlie was like 6'4", 6'5".
I guess he played quarterback as well. I saw a picture with him with Jimmy Garoppolo or some shit like that, and I guess they had a good relationship. But yeah, I'm like finding out more about him. Where I guess he was in the military as well or something like that.
I don't know that he was in the military, maybe, but they just knew, like these are people that, you know, said like he was going to be the future president of the U.S. So I think I you know, I don't want to go into, you know, maybe who killed him or theories and stuff like that, but there's definitely a strategic move. And I think that, you know, even in the midst of the storm, we're seeing a lot of good come out of this. Like how many people went to church yesterday? Yeah. You know, how many churches didn't have enough parking or room for people? It's just, what did the world see? I mean, it's very like, it's crazy because you have some part of the world, not just America, that saw that. They cried, they wept, they're still weeping, they're still mourning, and they decided to go pay their respects that somehow drew them closer to God. Right. We're like, yo, this guy really stood on that shit and he fucking died. It's not going to jail, right? Because it's one thing when we've seen that it's like, oh, you know, you're preaching about the Lord or you're saying this and that, like, oh, we're gonna put you in jail. Jail is one thing, right? Okay, they take your freedom away, but you're still alive. It's another thing to be in front of so many students and get assassinated and get just fucking blood gushing out of your neck, and it's so gruesome. For what? For his beliefs, his Christian beliefs. So I think there's a fire for sure. I think that these kids, shout out to all those college students, man, because like personally for me, at first, I'm not gonna lie, like I was scared. I was like, damn, like they're really coming for us. And this isn't a fade. Again, this isn't a fight that we're gonna square up. They're fucking trying to kill us. They're trying to get rid of us. Super because violent. They there's nothing else. They have to kill us to get rid of these ideologies. So I'm really,
because they can't win a debate.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud of everybody that is standing strong. I'm really proud for all the speakers that are doubling down, where I think like Alex Jones and some other speakers were like, you know what? We're going to these fucking college campuses. Like we're not going to be scared, because this is what they want. This is what that group wants, is they want to put fear in all of us. They don't want us to go and speak. They don't want us to debate. They don't want us to open our mouths. And it's like, well, we either are going to give into that fear or we're going to double down. And like Kirk's wife said, like, oh, like we're going to come back stronger. So
the mission
very interesting.
Carries on.
It's only been a few days, but we're seeing an awakening. Yeah. We're seeing an awakening and a hunger of like because it's the question of this, Victor, like, what did he die for? What was he killed for, really? Like, he wasn't talking about some bullshit. I mean, some people will say it's bullshit, but he was really talking about God, bro. His whole thing was God. Is like loving people. And look, I believe in male and female. This is what the Lord says. This is what science is pointing to. This other gender and this and that and transitioning. And it just, it isn't really adding up, and abortion and.
What's it called? I want to share this real quick because a coworker shared it with me, and I thought it was pretty interesting, you know, the way he was thinking. But he said God sends angels into this road to show us how to live and how we're supposed to live, right? And he says, I feel like Charlie was that angel, and unfortunately, you know, he lost his life. And it kind of reminded me of what you sent today about all these disciples, right? Where these disciples went to different areas and they were all murdered at one point.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, it's this whole thing about like Christianity, like, and not this could be a whole other podcast, but I think just to emphasize what you said, like, Jesus's disciples were all killed for their belief in Christ. You know, it's like people question Christianity. They question it's not real. Like, that didn't really happen. But there's overwhelming evidence that it was real, that these people were real and they were killed. And then you got to ask yourself, why were they killed? Like, do you think they were lying? Like, who the hell is thinking, let me go talk about some shit so they can kill me?
Exactly.
And if you have the balls to do that, either you're fucking crazy or you're telling the truth. And you believe it so much that, bro, you're willing to die for it. You know, and I agree. Like, Charlie, he wasn't an angel. I get what he's saying. He was a real human sent by the Lord, for sure, to just remind us. Like, age 31, younger than me, already dead, but he made so much of an impact. And I think on that note, I do want to talk about how to respond, like, to what happened, because I think that a lot of people are mad, rightfully so. I think that
a lot of people are going to be mad when this airs. And they hear us and what we're saying, because they don't want this. They don't want us to share what we're sharing.
They don't agree with us, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, and that ties into, you know, what I want to say. So, like, you know, I told one of my my Christian friends, and you know, I'm a little bit concerned in the sense that, like, I don't want specifically, like, Christians, like, acting out of character. I don't think that violence is the answer.
It's not.
Even though they killed Charlie, I think that self-defense is one thing, but I don't think us going out and, you know, repeating the same act or getting violent, you know, in other ways with people from the left or whatever you want to call it, people that disagree with you, that's not the way. Because let us not forget, you know, how Charlie dealt with situations like that. You know, there's countless of videos where they hated on him. They fucking spit on him. Some girl took his hat, and, you know, it was about ICE and immigration. And, you know, regardless, again, of how you feel, like, just remember to keep respect for people. Just remember Jesus. Jesus was killed. Like, how did he react? He was God. Like, he could have killed everybody. He didn't do any of that. So we have to remember a couple things. I think, number one, revenge is for the Lord. Like, let the Lord handle this. And it's not that we're weak. It's not that, like, oh, we're passive. It's just that we're not of the world. We just don't think that way, and we don't move that way. Like, the Lord is all about love. Charlie was about love. We can't forget that. And on that note, I want to remind specifically, like, my Christian brothers and sisters, we need to pray for these people. Like, just as much as we're angry at them, and just as much as we're angry at Tyler and whoever else is connected, we need to also pray for them, because what you said earlier, confusion. We need to remember that they're people, you know, and that's what Charlie would say as well. Like, that's what he would do. He would pray, and that's what his hope was, that people would come to hear, and you know, there'd be a seed planted in there, and that, like, later down the road, maybe they can open and change their mind. And we need to remember that, because this isn't the time to get divisive, in my opinion. It's not the time to go after one another. That's what the enemy wants. That's literally what they're doing. That's where they're at mentally. We're better than that.
And the truth is, that's what they want.
That is what they want, and that's what the enemy wants.
So they could say, "Oh, look, we were right," you know.
Well, yeah, they're just as violent, civil war, revolution, whatever you want to call it, and we just got to keep our heads cool. Like, we got to remember that the reality is, for anybody that believes what Charlie believed, is Charlie is in heaven now. He is with the Lord. He is with the Father. To live is Christ, to die is gain. Bro, he won. He's actually done with this. We're still here. We still got to go through some of this. He's with the Lord now. You know, so he's
served his purpose.
Yeah, so I get it. Yes, it's sad. It's horrible to see something like that. Like, that's usually like some fucking like dark web cartel type shit to like assassinate people and cut people's heads off and see all that kind of blood. But it was crazy. But we cannot forget our identity. We cannot forget our purpose. This war isn't with people. It's just, I'm speaking to Christians only. I'm not speaking to anybody that doesn't really share that belief, because I don't expect that from you. But for Christians, I will go in there and I'll be like, remember that this war is not with flesh and blood, but it's a spiritual war. So that is the real enemy. The enemy is, Satan. The enemy is, demons, and the enemy is, that. And then we need to pray. We need to stay, intact, and we need to stay sharp. We need to stay sober, right? So it's dangerous times, sure, but this is also like, you thought we were gonna die, you thought we were gonna stay quiet.
Nah, and if anything, this is the time to double down and stay true to your beliefs and what you stand on. I'm kind of annoyed a little bit where I'll get like messages about, and it's kind of like it's favoring a certain side, right? But then in the end, you kind of back down. You're like, but I'm not neither left or right, and I'm not saying to choose a side, right? But you got to know what's right and wrong, right? And like how you mentioned earlier, statistically, it shows that the left has been violent, right? Whether you want to believe it or not. And I think in some of these debates that Charlie was doing, you could see how these kids would react, right, with so much anger. And it's like, yo, tone it down, talk to me. We're having a conversation. Like, there's kids here. You don't got to get violent. Just prove me wrong. Why do you believe that?
Just have some respect. Like, this isn't a third world country. This is a first world country. It's America, freedom of speech. Have some respect. We don't have to agree.
Right.
We don't even have to like each other, but we can at least respect each other. We can at least remember that he was human, and that he had kids, and that he had a wife. And like, okay, even if you hated him, just have some respect for his wife and kids at least. Like, stop talking shit online. Stop talking shit on the internet. Like, you're not tough. Like, you're just coming off as cold. You're coming off as, like, inhumane. And it's that's
the sad part to see. Just seeing how people were reacting. Like,
it's
online.
Disappointing. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing, because
where's your humanity at?
Yeah, it's just, all right, then you know what? If you have nothing good to say,
don't even say it.
Don't say nothing at all. Exactly. I think all of our parents have taught us that. Like, if you have nothing good to say, just don't say it at all. Even if you thought he was racist, even if you thought he was a Nazi, whatever, like, bro, just keep your mouth shut. Like, this isn't that time. So, but that was my main thing. I'm like, I was really concerned, and I'm still kind of just keeping my eyes. Like, I want to see how his people react. And so far, it's been great. Like, people, going to church, getting closer to the Lord, and this inspiring people to fight for these rights that God has given us, and specifically in this country, like freedom of speech, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we got to make sure that we fight for the Constitution, which is what he was fighting for, because if we lose that, we lose this nation, and we lose the ideology, and we lose America, and then we start looking like the rest of the world, where there's so much chaos right now, bro. Like, I'm not going into no kind of tangent, but just look at England, look at Nepal right now, look at Ireland, look at Russia and China, and it's just it's happening. There's something going on right now. The Middle East. But
it's crazy. Yep.
He's with the Lord. So I mean, he's in a great place. That is our truth.
Yep.
And he'll be missed. And thankfully, a lot of his shit, or most of his shit, is on YouTube and TikTok, and you can always go watch him and study him yourself, and make a decision for yourself, like, whether he was a good or bad guy. But yeah, I don't want to make it a left and right thing. It's like, at the end of the day,
that's only going to promote more hatred, and it just divides us more.
And it's not about that. I mean, in my opinion, it's about the kingdom of God. It's like, oh, wait, which side are you? I'm on the side that agrees more, that aligns more with God. And I know there's a lot of people, and yes, statistically speaking, if we look at the left, a lot of people in the left will not align to that. But that's okay. We're not we're not gonna kill you. We're not gonna do this shit. We're not gonna act, you know, and we're gonna let you talk. We're gonna listen to you and hear you out and try to understand and
show love and try to get you to find the truth. Right?
Yeah, like we gotta be able to have conversations, man. We gotta be able to talk. We gotta be able to get these emotions out, even if it is anger. Like, damn, homie, I just don't agree with what you say. And if you get mad, and good, let it out. It's okay. You can be mad. We're not saying it's not good to be mad, but obviously getting so mad to the point where you kill somebody. It's not you kill somebody, you do it, that you've crossed the line. Like, that's just there's no, you know, Charlie doesn't have that opportunity anymore to speak. But I'm still grateful, bro, to be here, to be in this country, to still have these rights. And if just looking around the world, like, there's a lot of people that can't even debate
or speak for themselves. Yeah, exactly. They can't. They have no freedom of speech.
They got, bro, Nepal, like, they took all their media away, social media away. There's a revolution going on right now. I think in the UK
as well, right? Something about that where they're, like, censoring them.
Well, yeah, the UK, they're being censored, but the UK is, a lot of it is just it's immigration, just what they've been, you know, dealing with and you know, what's been taken over there. But it's really cool to see just people standing up for Charlie and I mean, obviously,
that just shows the impact that he truly had on people.
Yeah, it was not a joke.
That shows me that it was more of a positive impact than negative.
Right. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man, because there's a lot of people getting fired. You know, a lot of people that are talking mad shit.
Well, I saw that there was a from the Carolina Panthers. I forgot what he did there, but I guess he posted something on their social media mocking Charlie. They fired his ass.
I think it's like 1,300 people that have been laid off these last few days because of them going on social media and just talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
inhumane.
It's just chill. Like, even if you don't like him, just keep your mouth shut. You don't want to get fired, keep your mouth shut. Like, you know, just have some respect. So
shit, man, I might get fired tomorrow after this shit airs. We're gonna find out what side of.
Well, you know, somebody breaks it down, and this is really what's going on. It's like businesses. And we have, you know, businesses, and we understand how hard it is to build a business. Yeah. How hard it is to keep a good reputation. Yep. How hard it is to have good credibility. So these people are getting fired because you're making the companies look bad. Like, you're talking shit. Like, it's okay to feel how you feel, even if you don't fuck with Charlie, and even if you do hate him. Just keep it to yourself, bro. Like, you're over here talking shit. You're making yourself look bad, and you're making your company that you work for look bad. So if you're wondering why your ass and why people are getting fired, it's because these people that have worked so hard to build up their company and build up their reputation, they're not going to let your dumb ass destroy it with some simple ass comments. Right? Because, oh, this dude said that and this and that. And then that just, you know, they work here, and then now they're going to look at the company and like, oh, well, you support him, so now you must support it. They're not playing that game. So it is just showing, like, you know, what the right response is. Like,
shoot, but on that note, man, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I mean, you've inspired a generation. I mean, shit, even us, we're starting a podcast and just voicing out how we feel. You know, I think you gave that young generation that path there. So we just want to, you know, shout you out. You served your purpose, and I hope the mission continues and more people rise from this and decide to speak and seek clarity as well. So rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You want anything else you want to say?
No. I mean, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. Bitter because he's gone. Bitter because we'll never hear him speak here on this planet. Bitter because of the kids, the wife, but it's also sweet because we know what he stood for, and we know he's in heaven, and that's where ultimately we all want to be. So we'll see you soon, Charlie.
Amen to that.